One thing about God is that He does not throw us one challenge per season. He's gonna put us through multiple challenges, and sometimes those look like the same challenges. And He does that because depending on the level of difficulty that your next season is going to be, He has to put you through a lot of challenges. And let's just say in this season, God is trying to help you to not be a people pleaser anymore. He's trying to help you to learn to say no. He's trying to help you to learn to set healthy boundaries with yourself and with other people. He's going to put you through that challenge multiple times. And sometimes we get so caught up in being in the challenge multiple times that we give in. And God has to make sure that you don't do that, because your next season might be crucial for saying no, right? Your next season might require you to say absolutely not. So if you're going through a season right now to where God is like, okay, I'm going to challenge you to see if you're going to say no to things. He might have you fasting and the devil tempts you with food. And you're like, no, I'm not going to do that. God said I'm not supposed to be eating right now. I'm supposed to do this 3-day fast. And you say no. And then God allows the devil to tempt you again, because let's be real, God allows the devil to tempt you multiple times. And we look at the story of Job. He allowed the devil to test Job multiple times. It wasn't just once. And he allows the devil to tempt you again with a person. And let's just say this person starts to talk about, having intercourse with you, and starts pushing sexual intercourse on you. And you're like, you know what? No, I can't do that. Like, I'm not supposed to be doing that. God said no sex before marriage. And you say no. God will tempt you again. God will allow the devil to tempt you again. And let's just say, a job opportunity comes to you and says, hey, would you be willing to work this job if we pay you $70,000 a year? And you're just like, no, I'm not doing that. God said I'm going to be working in this area. And then that job says, what about 100,000? And you're just like, that is good money. And then you say yes. You are no longer going into your next season when you were supposed to. Now it's being delayed because you have to stay on a firm no. And it doesn't mean God isn't going to allow you to make certain mistakes, but there are a certain amount of challenges that we have to pass in order to get to our next season. It's not that God is punishing us, but He's teaching us that we're stopping our own blessings, right? If He said to say no in this season, for whatever the case may be, it is crucial for your next season. It's not just He just wants you to say no because He feels like telling you to say no. No, it's actually crucial for your next season. Because if He has you, let's just say he allows you to meet the person that you're supposed to marry. He has to make sure that you're going to still say no to no sex before marriage when you meet this person. You can't meet this person and then you slip up and say, you know what, I'm just going to have sex with this person because I feel a connection. I feel like this is the person that God ordained me to be with. The answer is still no. Just because that person is God or godly ordained doesn't mean that you change your no to a yes. So if God has you in a season to where He's putting you through the same challenges, it's because it is required for your next season because of the level of difficulty. And I'm speaking specifically towards the season of learning how to say no and people pleasing. You have to go through that multiple times because sometimes we slip up. And on that 5th time of going through that challenge, we say yes. And God says you can't do that. You have to stay with the no. Keep saying no. No matter how many times you go through it, it's going to get easier the more you do it. But you cannot slip up and say no or say yes because you feel guilty for saying no. You feel wrong because you always say yes to certain people and now you're saying no and they're reacting a certain way. It does not matter. Your no needs to be a firm no. And in this season, He might test you with anything, saying no to anything. Don't pick up that remote. Don't do this. Don't do that. Say no to that. Say no to that. And it might seem ridiculous, but understand it's actually crucial for your next season. So I don't know who needs to hear that, but pay attention to if God has you in that season. And understand that if you're going through it multiple times, it's because God is making sure that you're going to not say yes just because you want to. And you're going to stay firm on your no because your next season requires a no.